talk.
Yeah, and then people pop up here and put comments. Hey guys, we're back again live. If you're listening to the show, please comment on Facebook and YouTube. If not, no worries. Just listen in. Let us know how we sound or how we look. Sometimes the video's been a bit fuzzy, just because the internet here at the exhibit area has been less than perfect. But I have a special guest here who's actually been here at the booth for the last few days. He's a good friend of Benco's, has been using Benco for a while. And we are happy to welcome Warren from Wellis Alloy Wheel Repair. And you're in Tennessee too?
Nope, I am in St. Charles, Illinois.
Oh, Illinois.
Oh,
yep. Okay.
Just
You're
outside of
hiding your
Chicago.
little,
Yep.
I was going to cheat.
Just outside. Oh, nope, this is Benco.
Oh,
so
yeah, that's right.
Yep.
You're Benco. He's helping out Valerie at Benco as just another person here holding the fort down. We have been consistently bombarded by people and stuff. So it's actually been a really positive thing here. It's been very brisk, but we've actually had a little bit of a slowdown towards the end of the day. And now I said, come on, Warren, ready to go. So welcome to the show, Warren.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah. Now, Warren, you're here because you're, not only are you just a super fan of Benco, but you also are a customer and you're a powder. You specialize in wheel refinishing.
Yes. Yeah. That's all we do is wheel repair. We don't sell wheels. We don't sell any products. It's strictly factory and aftermarket wheel repair.
Tell me about how you got started in powder coating.
So I've been doing this for 20 years, and we started out a complete mobile business. Over the last 7 or 8 years, I have been transitioning out of the mobile. I still have trucks on the road going out to dealerships, body shops, but I am predominantly 70 to 80% of our business is now at the shop, and we do custom powder work, custom colors, but specializing in wheels. We say that we're a wheel company, not a powder company, but we powder.
Right, because your specialty is
yes.
So, yeah. Now, have you been to SEMA before?
Yes.
Oh, you have?
Yep,
okay.
Yep, I've been here before.
How would you compare it this year to?
Last year, it's twice as many people are here. And last year when we were here, we were kind of we were in pretty much the same spot we are now, but the whole back area, back off the stairs, there's nothing there. They had that whole area closed off. So even the exhibitors are probably up 30%.
Yeah, well, that's good to know because, that's kind of stuff you don't hear. I did see that Chevy and Ford and GM are not here.
No.
But Dodge is here, and this was kind of the scuttlebutt on the bus ride over in the morning yesterday was, hey, where's Chevy? Where's GM? Where's, their displays and stuff. So it's kind of a notable of SEMA 2022. There's still lots to see, but it's very apparent that
the big manufacturers are
not here. And everybody's kind of like, wonder why, you know? So could be many reasons or just one reason.
It's a strange environment out there right now. I mean, you hear, depending on where you're getting your news from, the economy, they say, is going strong, but we're headed into a recession. But you come here, and there are still so many people that are out here, just plugging along with
planning their future, and planning their future with Benco because your sales. You've landed quite a few sales this year.
Yes,
from what I've heard.
And this has been a really big boon for Benco coming into SEMA. It has been a great way for them to get their name out, and you get to meet all the players with Benco, and they're all great people. That's why I'm here. I don't get anything out of this other than a free trip.
Yeah.
No, I don't even get a free trip because I pay for my airfare, but they help me, they get me in here, and I enjoy doing it. I like
Right.
them so much, that's why I do it.
Yeah. I for first timer, I am thoroughly impressed with this show. And all the way, and it's not just the exhibitors and what's here and the events and everything. You just shared a really cool video. I can't wait. He's going to share a video with me later today, and I'm going to post it to my reel. Just so you know, I wasn't out there watching that, but
you were in here working.
Warren was, and I'll make sure to share say that on my reel. But anyways, the SEMA people, the people that are managing it, the people that are making sure everything's clean and serving the food and getting us in and getting us out and stuff. They're all like super, super nice people.
Yes.
I'm it's not grumpiness at all on any level. It's super happy.
And this year, coming off of COVID last year, the mask mandates were still in place. Vegas was just starting to open back up. It was even then they were doing their best to put their best face forward, and it did a really phenomenal job.
Yeah.
They've done, and especially it's nice to see people back out enjoying themselves.
Yeah, I'm not worried about anything or anybody here. Everybody's like super mellow and fun and just ready to have a good time. A couple of guys kind of snagged some of my hats without me knowing, and we caught a couple of burglars.
Yeah.
And Valerie was like, "Hey." But when you got cool swag, I don't blame them at the same time.
No. And they just, hey, it's free. Why, you brought it to give away, so why don't give it away?
Yeah, they think it's just because it's sitting on this table next to me that it's free, and it's not free. But getting back to your business, how many employees and what size are your ovens?
So I have 6 employees. I have a 24-foot powder booth, and I have a 17 by 10 by 8 gas oven. I also have a small 6 by 6 batch oven that's electric. And we're very small volume. As a whole, we probably do about 30 wheels a day. Powder coating probably averages between 12 to 16 wheels a day. But we also do customer waiting. We repair wheels in an hour.
Right.
We get customers that will come in with curb damage. We can offer same-day powder coating if people want to, take advantage of people can't down their car for a couple of days. And we do everything. We do the mount, the balance. We do, people just drop their cars off. All of our repairs, our, welding, straightening, all of those are included in our typical pricing. So if you're powder coating, and we're about the only people in town. Everybody else does, all the other guys will do, they'll powder coat your wheels, but they don't straighten. They'll powder coat your wheels, but they put the powders on. And this is one of the reasons why I got into this. We were mobile, doing just wheel repair, and I had a couple of powder coaters, local guys that I would use, and the turnaround that we were experiencing, the quality was inconsistent. So I was not expecting any of this to take off, but the powder coating did. And it was a really good accent to my already popular business. And then it just started replacing my regular business. So, you can't go wrong there.
Yeah, you just follow the lead, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. At what point, you went from this mobile situation to powder coating and in a shop, at what point did you start thinking about Benco, or like thinking, okay, I need a simpler way to,
So about 7 years ago is when we put the powder coating in. And I was using the B17. And that was great. It sped up our strip times, because prior to that we were sandblasting, and it was just too time consuming. So early on, a competitive company came out while I was using the B17, a competitive company came out with a chemical, a hot tank, an something eco-friendly,
Right.
and we were using that for a few years, and it improved our business vastly. Then just so happened COVID hit, and Phil Streeter walked in the door, and I started talking to him. There was a travel limitation, so my other supplier couldn't come in; they couldn't
Right.
travel in.
I see.
And so we ended up, just based on purely on price, I made the decision to switch over because I was saving 50%. And it turned out after I started using it that it was also decreasing our strip times by 30 to 40%.
Whoa.
So, I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was saving 50% and I increased my.
What kind of wheels were these? Were these previously powder coated or previously painted, or you do them all?
This is everything. This is
Didn't matter
this
what
is
the coating
these
was.
because we predominantly deal in factory wheels.
Okay.
And you've got a lot of different types of wheels out there. The Germans are by far they use an epoxy based primer.
Right.
That is one of the harder ones to strip.
I heard it's 7 layers actually.
And it's
between primers and coats.
Yeah, and it is not, and that varies by manufacturer.
Right.
And then there are a lot of wheels that have been in the American market that have gotten powder coated. Depending on who powder coats them, they are, there's some stuff out there that it's just a nightmare to get off. And our strip chemicals have just, it's cut our process time in half.
So you've got the B17E tank.
Yes.
How big is it?
So mine's only a 4-wheel.
Okay.
Mine is only a 4-wheel. And truth be told, I don't have the Benco tank. I have my previous supplier tank.
Oh, okay.
And I am going to upgrade eventually. It's going to be upgrading pretty soon because our volume has exceeded that 4-wheel tank, and we still use B17 to help out our process. If we're getting backlogged, we will use the B17 because there's nothing that beats that. I mean, that's 15 minutes and you're done.
Right. There's no way you could get away from it at any point, or would we want to?
No.
At Maui Powder Works.
Yeah.
We're very. We realized that early on. This was just like a total benefit to try to.
Yep.
I have a thought. I'm coming to this thought.
Off the rails. Off the rails.
Ask me something.
So
I'm out of questions.
So you're in Hawaii. How are you hiring? Because
Yes,
my
am.
wife and I are looking to move out to Hawaii.
Yes. The answer is yes. I've got a lot of people that have asked that question, and I'm always yes. But it's very expensive there, and
Yes.
the rent or finding a place can be difficult.
Yeah.
We're trying to kind of get ahead of that in anticipation of possibly having to hire someone on the mainland, here in the mainland, and relocating to help us, because I don't know if we can find the talent that we need at the level that we're at right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yep.
Because we're ready to kind of let it be run by somebody else, and or we're getting close. Let's just say that. And I don't want to. If we can find the right person on Maui, that's a benefit. But they have to be able to learn quickly and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it would be such a relief to know that somebody already has that skill set, and maybe we just show them some of our processes, and
and that's what I'm kind of at that crossroads with my business as well. I can't. It's getting difficult for me to manage it by myself.
Yeah.
And I need to get people in to allow me to concentrate on my business. I've grown so fast over the last several years, and the business has changed in our region that you need someone actively pushing the business out there. And it's I unfortunately I don't have the luxury to be able to do that anymore because I'm day-to-day operations, payroll, all
those
the
are
things
important things to keep your eyes on.
Yes.
And I loved Sam's energy. When I was interviewing Sam earlier today, I love his energy because it seems like when he talks, like, not that there's no problems, because I'm sure he has problems, but just with the day-to-day, but he is all about the processes, and he understands at a very young age, what we're going through right now, and trying to escape that a little bit, or
Yes.
at least your mind at ease, not be stressing and stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'd really like to hear more from him. He promised that he'd like to join me again, maybe even more on a regular basis, depending on his time level. But yeah, it can be difficult. Do you use QuickBooks in your business?
I don't. I actually have no, I don't use QuickBooks anymore. I use a program out of New Zealand. It's an accounting software. All online, and my guys can access everything. All my invoicing is done off of the phones. It's a product called Xero.
Yes, I've heard of Xero.
Xero.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like QuickBooks. It's more. It is kind of. It's not once it's set up, it's very intuitive to use. You can have up to 35 users with no extra. Whereas if you're on QuickBooks, you get 3, and you got to pay, and then they're doing all the sales calls for you. But this I've been using this for close to since 2015, and it works out real well.
Yeah, I've heard of them, and it's funny how you always hear about QuickBooks, but you don't hear about Xero here in the United States. But I have heard of them. I think the first time I heard about them was in 2015.
Yeah.
I just was already kind of in it, and I'm a little sketched to go online, at least with the QuickBooks. I don't know about the Xero, but I like the desktop version. I personally.
Do they still make the desktop version?
They do. Now? They do. Yeah. They do.
Because I heard that they were doing away with it, and it was all.
Well, they keep saying that.
Yeah.
But you're going to have like what, 1 million bookkeepers that manage businesses every day go into like panic mode. Yes. I doubt it. They're like a long way from that, I think.
Yeah. And about a year ago, I bought the assets of a repair shop, and I kept the shop going for about 6 months to a year while I was setting everything else up, and we used QuickBooks with that online, and I absolutely hate it. I like the desktop version, but the online version
because you can't change. You
No.
cannot change it after there's like and I'm like, well, that's stupid.
Yeah, and it's not as user friendly.
Yeah,
it's not as user friendly, especially when you're with your day-to-day operations. It's great, and you almost have to have an accounting degree to use it.
Right. I mean, I get it. They probably made that product for a lot of mobile users. Like if you had your mobile business, all the full time, that would make sense because you're on the go all the time. But it doesn't sit well for me. I don't also like to have that kind of data on because it's online.
Yeah, and that's a problem with Xero too, is that it's all online. There's no desktop version. It's easier to use on the phones, but if the internet's out or you can't access it throws you off, because my guys out in the field, they don't carry paper invoices, they don't, and so it is. And it would be the same with QuickBooks online. If the internet goes down, you're kind of dead in the water. It's like when the credit card systems go down. You're standing there and you take a payment.
Right. I do have my merchant services is with QuickBooks because I get such a good rate. I feel like I get a really good rate with my credit cards and stuff like that. Do you guys do credit cards?
Yeah, we do credit cards. I have 2 different systems. I have Square and I have I use Square for my mobile stuff, and then I have a company called MX Merchants for the office. So if my guys are, they need to take a payment, we take it with Square.
Right. Yeah. I think I like it. Sometimes it's not so perfect. I do have a couple of fix-its, and when I get home, I gotta call their merchant services and have them fix it for me, because I just, I paid for that service. So
Yeah.
if I can't figure it out, then I gotta call them to do it. As
Yeah.
long as their, customer service is available to fix things when things go wrong.
Yeah. And you're not waiting 2 hours on.
Yeah, I've had to escalate things a little bit, mainly because I had originally had my company was the original owner of the QuickBooks, and then when I closed that company down, I still had the name on there, and it just was bugging me. And it seemed easy enough just to change the name, but oh no, you try to change the name and address of the original owner, it's a nightmare. So I've had to escalate that, but then when I finally escalated it and I got that special services people, they were the nicest people ever. So like they were very cautious and helpful, and got everything done that I wanted, all my little bucket list stuff done on the checklist, done on the stuff I wanted to fix. But yeah, software can be frustrating sometimes when it doesn't work right.
Yes. Yep. And anything dealing with credit cards is always kind of a pain to deal with in the first place too. That's one of the reasons why I like why I like it's a little company, but they bill us at the end of the year or at the end of the month. Whereas Square takes out every transaction. So when you go to reconcile your books and all that, you have to figure, okay, well, did someone short pay, or is it just the processing fee? Because you don't know. Right. And then I'm always worried. Well, I just had my first day here, just to share. My first day, I got an email or I got a text from my bank that my card got hacked. And someone charged about $600 on my business credit card.
Yeah.
So I called, got that straightened out. They Chase, which I hate Chase, but they're probably one of the best banks out there for business. Had me a card here at the hotel the following day. They mailed one out. Nice. But then yesterday I got a call from my wife's business card got hacked. Someone they were using it. And this whole electronic online, like going back to what you were saying with having all your information out there, nothing prevents them from, if they want to get it, they're going to get it.
True. Those what do they call them? They're calling them it's a whole thing, like a mafia type thing, I guess. I don't want to say it's a group.
Oh yeah.
There's a group in the world that's all they do for a living, right? Is that kind of stuff. There was a local business in Hawaii, a restaurant, very popular one, that had one of their admins had opened up an email, had a phishing email in it, downloaded it, and then it took 3 months for it to filter through their entire networks. And when it did, it was catastrophic. Catastrophic. And it was ransomware. And they had to pay, and they were getting close. The FBI got involved, and they were pretty close. These hackers were pretty close to actually accessing customers. I think a handful of customers' cards had already been hacked too, on top of all the other devastation they've done through the company.
It's funny we're talking about this because I was just watching the news this morning, and on Good Morning Las Vegas, they were saying that American companies paid $2.1 billion in ransomware to try to get their data back.
Yeah, a lot of it is counties.
Yes, counties, states.
Because they haven't updated their software systems and stuff. Yeah, it's kind of this really strange world.
Yeah,
You know?
and I've heard that they are very polite. It's like dealing with a business. When you call these hackers, they treat it like a business. Okay, they'll fix your computers. They'll do everything. All you got to do is pay them.
Have you been getting a lot of spam calls lately? Because we have been getting at least 4 or 5 a day.
I've disconnected.
Driving me nuts.
I've disconnected my office phones,
Oh,
my landlines, because I get, no exaggeration, 30 calls a day.
oh, wow. I thought I had it bad.
Now and so I just find, no one calls our office landlines anyway, but I had them forwarded. I have one of our phone numbers forwarded to our office cell phone, and we probably I have 4 phone numbers at the office, and we get 30 to 40 calls a day.
Yeah, I don't know how they want us to upgrade our businesses and be online and all this stuff, and yet they have no fail safes and nothing nothing to protect us other than just that's what you got to do because this is our new world and you got to deal with it.
And
right?
the new world that
there's no fail safes.
But the phone companies make millions off of these robocalls.
Oh, they do. I know
Yes.
they do, and that's why you can tell. It's always in the legislature, or like you notice they'll pass a bill, and then all of a sudden the spam calls go away, and then the next thing you know,
they pop back up. But the scam, and I don't understand what the scams are. That out of those 30 to 40 calls that we get a day, because it's probably 5 an hour. Yeah, and they're most of them are pick up. You pick up the phone. There's no one there. So okay. So what's happening with me is it's a local number. Mm-hmm. So I'll want to pick up because I think it's a customer, and then when I pick it up, there's no one on the phone, and then I hang up, and then next thing you know, I'm getting calls from like all kinds of numbers everywhere. Some of them say unknown on the ID. Some of them say it's you can tell it's a foreign, like it's outside, overseas. So it has 11, and then it's got like it's all different numbers. Some of it'll just say like something weird like Chicago, and then like but it's not normal. Like it's not a person's name or anything like that. It's not a company name. It's it's something just bizarre, and it's all over the place. Yep. And I so mad. Don't know how. I do like the ones because I mess with them a lot of times. If it's a live person, I'll keep the phone on. I'll put it on speaker, and I'll sit there and I'll have conversations. Even if no one's there, I'll have a conversation with someone that's not there. Yeah, this idiot's sitting here on the phone, thinking I'm going to talk to him. And hello. I don't. I just, what I do is I answer the phone, and then as soon as I answer it, I put them on hold, and then they have to listen to classical music because that's the music that came with my phone system, and I just leave it on that, So I just, because I don't even want to talk to them and stuff, and then of course they immediately hang up because now you're wasting their time, right? Exactly. That's a good strategy. Yes. Yep. Exactly. I've heard of a lot of. We've got a couple of followers here. Why don't you make some comments, guys? If you're following us on YouTube or Facebook, please say hi. Ask me a question. If I don't know the answer, I'll make it up. Warren's here to answer your questions, guys. Don't be shy. He's been in business for a long time. He's got a lot to talk about, although he said he wasn't going to say anything, but he's I'm shy. Lying about that. I'm shy. Ask Phil, I'm shy. It's been fun here at the Benco booth. I'll tell you, you guys are all just fun, happy people. And that was the first thing I thought when I showed up. I mean, I really didn't have anything. Like, I was literally like messaging Lindsay, or I think Valerie's daughter, who manages the Instagram, and I messaged. I'm like, I don't even have Valerie's cell phone. Yep. And so I was like, hey, what's her number? I gotta call her. I've landed. Yep. And so I didn't really. We kind of put it all together at the last minute, but I think it worked out. Yep. Yep.
We're strategizing for next year, possibly. You know?
I was told we were staying at the Luxor, and so I showed up at the Luxor, and with no plan. Well, no, as a matter of fact, I was just checking in. As I was walking in to check in, Phil was there. Just showed up at the same time I did, so it all worked out.
Yeah. I'm over at the Tropicana. There's Ashton. Hi, Ashton. Best tips on getting more local work and repetitive customers. What a great idea. Yes, answer that.
So, depends on what your market is. I don't advertise. All of my work comes from word of mouth. My mobile business helps because for as far as dealer work, because we get a lot of employees that will send their wheels in. But as far as I wish I could answer that question better, but it's do a good job, treat your customers right. We stand behind everything we do. If we mess something up, our customers know it before they do.
Yeah.
And that communication is key, and that's where our work comes from, is word of mouth.
Right.
And we're in a highly competitive area.
Yeah. Oh, you are. Oh,
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I would guess that you are. Illinois is a pretty populated state.
Yes, and we have some of the largest. I shouldn't say largest, but we have some very large shops within a 20-minute radius of us that they do hundreds of wheels a day, and we can't compete on price with them, but we can compete with quality. Right. So if you're looking for local work, a really good resource are your local tire shops and your body shops, because they don't want to down a vehicle waiting for a wheel. The insurance companies will give them X amount of dollars, and as long as you can come in with those prices for they don't care if they're buying a remanufactured wheel from one of the reman facilities, or they're coming out and you're doing a spot repair, or you're powder coating the wheel. It's, as long as they're getting the wheel done, they're getting it competitive. Those are good resources, because with the big guys, LKQ, Coast to Coast, Wheels America, they've gotten so big that the biggest complaint I'm getting from customers out in the field is color matches.
Yeah, that's a good question. And before we get into that, I have one other comment to make about customer outreach for getting more customers and repeat customers. And I think that you kind of hit something on the head here that I've been thinking about for a while, and that is, how big is your region? How big is your population? Who makes up your population? And I think that is something that cannot be overlooked. You need to be in an area that is large enough to constantly grow your business, or you'll hit the ceiling at some point. Of course, there's always like online work. You'd be surprised how many people will mail you stuff. Now, we're on an island, and people do mail us or ship stuff to us. And we're doing a job from Hawaii right now. He shipped all his stuff to us. Think about it that way too. What can you do to get away from, to get work that may not even be in your state? Yes. Part of what I wanted to say was, that's why I created the directory, was because the directory attracts those kinds of leads, or at least that we're starting to get those kinds of leads and stuff like that. So that's another way, hopefully in the future, we can kind of do that. And I don't think we haven't really talked about population and, demographics and people and what industry. You're in an area that probably has a lot of trucking, or across, I don't know, like how remote, or how are you?
Well, we're in a highly populated area. Yeah, we are the farthest suburb where we're at. We're one of the farthest suburbs west of Chicago before you hit Cornfield. Mm-hmm. But we're only 30 miles away from Chicago, so we're in a big we're in a huge market. And you bring up a good point, and I don't want to sound stupid here, but that's how I ran my mobile business, was by, we looked at our populations. We looked at the number of tire shops, body shops, dealerships in the area, But since my business has changed so much to retail, that's where I've been targeting. And I've probably done, not the best job with my social, I'm not even going to say I haven't even done my best job. I've done a lousy job of my social media.
Yeah.
I don't keep on top of that. I do have Facebook representation. I've got, we've got very good reviews on Google and
right.
But I don't keep up. I don't keep up with my Instagram. I don't keep up with any of that. And that's again going back to getting into that position where I need someone to take that off my plate. I need someone to manage the business for me so I can concentrate on the business.
Right.
And so, yeah, those are areas that you can concentrate on bringing in more work.
Yeah. Now, my second point to what we were discussing is, my second point is what? What is my second point? Oh, yeah, the color matching. That's kind of why we tend to shy away from just doing one-off rims unless they're really insisting, just because we understand that they're not going to match. And I don't want to have one of those customers that thinks they know what they want but really doesn't know what they want or what they're going to get. And I tend to avoid those people.
Yeah.
But how do you manage that? How do you manage that when it's not going to match if it's powder coated and it's painted, the other rims are painted?
So we started out as painting. So we paint wheels as well.
Oh, you do? Okay.
So, and a lot of people don't realize this, but probably only half the wheels out there are actually powder coated.
Oh, I would say less.
Yeah, they're all powder. Yeah, they might 90% of them might have a powder coat primer on it.
Right.
But as far as the color goes, it's a wet paint.
It's all painted. Yeah.
And it's a wet paint and it's a wet clear. So
that includes OEMs and off-market, aftermarket stuff too. Yeah, all of these rims. I think I saw one sign in this whole room that said powder coated rims.
Yes.
There was one booth that was touting that. Other than that, I think they're all painted.
Yeah. So what we do is, and we're, I've got some phenomenal painters, and these guys have eyes for color. And I mean, I have been painting for the first 15 years of my company's existence. I was the one doing the work, and now I've gotten away from it and I've trained my guys, and some of my guys have surpassed my ability.
Isn't that a beautiful thing?
It really is to watch people, and I've got good longevity with a lot of my employees. But we will, if a customer wants a one-off wheel done and we've got to do the whole wheel and they want it powder coated, we'll powder coat it, paint it, they're going to pay for it,
right?
Because basically we're doing the wheel. We're doing the wheel twice, or we'll talk them into just doing a face repair.
Oh, okay.
We'll do a face repair where we can okay, so bring the car in. We're not going to powder coat it. We're going to paint it.
Yeah.
And we run into it quite often where nope, it's got to be powder coated. It's got to be powder coated. Okay, $300.
Right.
It's going to be $300 a wheel, and that's quite a bit higher than what the market bears. But those people, there are some people out there. That's what they want, and we can give it to them.
Yeah, and let's talk about price for a second, because I was really, really, really impressed when I was talking to Felipe about pricing. And then I brought it up again when I talked to Sam, his partner, from RTM Customs. RTP Customs. I'm going to get it. I'm going to remember that. And, their minimum is $250. Now you're getting a full service there, but that's per rim.
Yeah.
Are you charging $300?
Oh, we're not even close. Our market is $150 a week.
Yeah. So they're obviously on another level here.
Yes.
Our starting price is minimum is $150.
Yeah.
But usually we like to go anywhere from $160 to $180 is the average price. And then it's kind of been reaching that even up to $220 and stuff.
Well, going into our market, and I mean we're the Chicagoland area, and we're in a very affluent area, but there's just we've tried to put it to where it should be, and because we've got going back to these other companies that are out there that are powder coaters that just do complete volume, we usually have a company that will everything. They'll mount, balance, drop off the wheels, they'll mount, balance, powder coat your wheels, for $50 a wheel.
Yeah,
but they don't repair them, and they don't straighten them.
And they don't prep them.
No, they put they'll put powder over powder,
Hello.
or if you've got big gouges, they just bury it in powder, and it's absolute garbage work. But trying to convince someone who only cares about the price, and that's not our market. That's so that's one of the things. But we've tried, we tell people, it's like, well, if you want a $50 wheel, go get your $50 wheel. But we've tried to push even $25 a wheel, and we've got so many other powder coat companies out there that'll do it for less, that it's been a difficult challenge to do that. Our quality is better. So our clientele that we have,
so they know that.
And the clientele that we have, I mean, we run some really nice cars through our shop. I mean, we're on a weekly basis, we're pulling McLarens, we're pulling Ferraris, Lambos. But I would say 80% of our customers are bringing their Ford Escorts or their Ford STIs or their Volkswagens, and they want it done right. And they don't care that I know I can drive out I can drive out at 45 minutes down closer to Chicago and get it done for half, but I want it done right.
Right. And so your customer is someone that cares about their car, severely, like extremely, and not just that it's my, not just a daily driver. It could, taking the kids to school. It's more like, this is my car, and I put my time and effort into it.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's a great way to define a customer. Right?
It is.
You have to go there.
And I have learned over the year. Well, no, I really haven't learned, but I've tried to learn that we're getting into a market where I can read a lot of the customers, and if you get somebody that comes in, they'll use keywords. Oh, my wheel's going to be brand new. Well, if you want brand new wheels, go buy brand new wheels. This is what we're going to do. This is what
trigger words.
The trigger words, and they're very triggering for me.
Yes.
But we found that even with customers that complain, it's grating on you, but you just gotta if you're not happy, we'll take care of it. We'll do whatever we got to do to make it right. And usually you do it, and then they end up coming back.
Yeah. We had a customer recently. I was thinking for sure she wasn't our customer. She called on the phone not once but twice and asked the same questions. Then she came down, and I was doing a podcast, so I wasn't able to speak to her, but Ross did, and he handled it, and she picked out shimmer candy raspberry from Columbia Coatings. And I'm thinking, I'm looking at this girl, and I'm looking at her car. It's just a VW Jetta, and I'm thinking, not our customer,
Yeah.
kind of hippie-ish, and just not the type that come into our shop. And Ross is all, no, she's doing it, and I'm like, okay, well, I'll order the powder because I get all, it's expensive now.
Yeah.
It's always been expensive for us, but, pricing has gone up too. And so I was a little reluctant, but I did order the powder because we've been, it doesn't always happen to us, but in the past, we've had people just skip out, just not come back, even though we've ordered the powder.
Yes.
But for the most part, people do come and stuff. But anyways, so, we've partnered up with a tire place around the corner. Okay, so they do the lift and the mount and dismount, all that stuff, and then they'll drop off the rims for us. They're super nice guys. So I'm happy to finally have someone to do that. So, she shows up at, and I called the tire guy, and I'm like, did she make an appointment with you? Is this, and she actually went down there, made the appointment, saw him in person. I mean, the whole thing. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll believe her now, but yeah, it went off. And then on top of that, she called, she was so thrilled. Of course, we put it up on Instagram and she liked it. When I went to go drop off the rims, the guys are all, hey, come over here. She left us a present in the front in the car, and I'm like, did she leave? Like, did she leave like a dirty diaper, or like, some stinky stuff or whatever, And I peek inside because it's on the lift, but it's low, on the lift, and I peek inside, and on the passenger side seat is a bag of weed.
I had a customer do the same thing. And I had the customer do the same thing. And by the time the car left, it was all gone. I'm like, okay, come on, guys. You can't be doing that.
That's funny stories in
Yes.
podcasting or
Yes.
powder coating, but isn't that funny? That was the first.
Yeah, it's legal in Illinois now. So.
They were super happy.
Yeah.
They didn't even want to touch it, actually, to be honest with you. But I didn't want any of it. But it was like, and and that was like, I was thinking, you got this. And you know what? When Ross came in, when she came down and talked to Ross, she asked Ross, with this color, now this is before with the weed, okay? She asked Ross specifically, will this color attract the police?
Really?
And so he told me what she said, and then he's like, oh, well, like.
So we do a lot of custom color. We do a lot of pink, a lot of neon purples. One of my favorite colors that we do quite a bit for motorcycles is shocker yellow.
Oh yeah, I love that color. That's a nice
done
color.
Properly, that is an absolute.
We've
gorgeous.
done some. We did a CTS, Cadillac CTS that does drag racing or whatever at the Raceway Park. But yeah, he's got that color until he dented it. He didn't dent it. He had it bent or something. He had to get new rims.
Yeah.
It was too bad. But yeah, that's a very nice color. But anyways, I thought, wow, what an odd question to ask. And then I'm thinking, is she like a dealer or something? Then your mind is going crazy. Like, what is
Was that legal in
right?
Hawaii, or is it illegal in Hawaii, or no?
It's kind of illegal.
Okay.
It's illegal stuff.
But they kind of look the other way.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a medical marijuana license.
Okay.
That, but she didn't strike me as that person.
Yeah, Chicago and Illinois, we're greedy. We want gambling. We want all of our, anything to raise revenue for one of the most corrupt states in the nation. Let's get political.
Oh my God, I hate that mayor of yours.
Oh,
I hate her. It's just like a freak on a leash.
Yes.
Anyways, that's all. We're going to end that. We're going to end on that note. How's that?
We will end it.
I think we've still got some listeners out there, but I know we're kind of coming up on a hard deadline because I think we're ending pretty soon.
Yep.
What time is it? It's
4:50.
we got to close up, and I got to put my stuff away. So, Warren,
it was great talking to you.
It has been a pleasure.
It has been, and we'll be here
half
tomorrow.
You were.
I didn't shut up.
No, you didn't even.
Nope.
Yeah, you just once you got started.
I've been told that I have the gift of gab.
Yeah, I think you've proven it. Yeah, pretty well.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, aloha, everybody.